Daily success, daily success. Plan the week ahead, be excellent. Make money moves, achieve your goals. Transform your life, one routine at a time. Daily success, daily success. Go and get yours. You better go get yours.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to Plannerpalooza. Excited you're here. Make sure I can get everybody in. Welcome, Bethany, Allie, Cassandra, Heather. Nice to see you. Rachel Sherman. Hi, Rachel. Rosemary, so glad you're back. I am going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get started. I'd love for you to share in the chat, what is your business? Tell me, what business are you running? What do you do? Feel free to share where you're from too. So for example, in the chat, I would say I'm Jamila from Philly and my business is productivity training. So I'd love to hear what you are working on and then we'll get started. Hi, Nia, welcome back. All right, so let me check the chat here. Nice. Allie, Sorian Travel, who was awesome yesterday. Danielle, Wellness Advocate with doTERRA, south of Pittsburgh, PA. Nice. I like Pittsburgh. I've been there a couple times. All right, others, feel free to keep sharing. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll check back to the chat in a couple of minutes. Know that this will be a very interactive session. You do not have to wait till the end for questions. You can ask questions at any time in the chat, or if you'd like for me to unmute you so you can ask your questions live, just give me a cue in the chat box and I will unmute you so you can ask your questions live. I'll be asking a lot of questions throughout so that we can interact together. Hope you got your notebook and paper ready so that you can take lots of notes. We have lots of great stuff to cover. Just to give you a little bit of the schedule, if this is your first day of Plannerpalooza, yesterday we did a session all about I was looking at Thursday, like, wait, is that right? Yes, it is right. Yesterday, we did a session all about how to follow through on your goals and create a profitable business. If you did not catch that, you can find the replay inside of the Success Squad private Facebook group. It is already posted there and waiting for you. Tomorrow, we're having a special session, the Achievers Club Open House. So if you're interested in learning about the mastermind group for women entrepreneurs that we have at Daily Success Routine, that's the place to do that. And I'll drop the link to join an RSVP for that. That's usually a small group session and you can get all your questions answered. So it's very, very cool. So definitely make a note for that if you're interested in being a part of a mastermind community that can help you to grow your business in 2020. And then on Thursday night is our final session for Plannerpalooza, which is all about creating a money plan to get paid from your business. So if you are not consistently paying yourself a salary, or you want to be paying yourself a little bit more of a salary, I'm going to break down our money roadmap, which is something that I share exclusively with our clients at Daily Success Routine. So I'm so excited to share that with you tomorrow. So make sure that you tune in for that. So I do want to mention that there are opportunities to win prizes. I'm getting tongue twisted. Prizes at Plannerpalooza. Try saying that 3 times fast. Prizes at Plannerpalooza. So we have prizes available, some great t-shirts, Daily Success Routine vision journals, and all sorts of cool stuff. So how do you get a prize? Well, you complete the challenge. So the challenge for yesterday is posted inside of the Facebook group. and I'll announce the challenge for today at the end of today's session. Now, here's the secret that I will share with you about the Plannerpalooza challenge. We typically have a lot of people that participate in Plannerpalooza over the 3-day challenge. However, not everybody takes action, and that's what Plannerpalooza is all about. It's not about planning, it's about executing on your plan. So if you decide to be one of the serious achievers and do these simple challenge activities, then you can in fact win prizes very easily. So I'll just share a quick bit about myself in case you're not familiar with me and my work. I'm a productivity trainer and CEO at Daily Success Routine. I get to show overworked professionals and business owners how to build better systems so that they can serve more clients. I built my career in marketing as a director and then elevated to a chief marketing officer at an e-commerce company. And I became a 6-figure earner in the corporate world before transitioning to business and then growing a profitable business. I've been an entrepreneur for over 18 years. I'm the breadwinner for my household. And what I mean by that is there's no sugar daddy behind the scenes supporting my dreams, right? So the money that I make from our business essentially allows me to take a salary that provides for my lifestyle. I'm a native of Philadelphia and I'm a wine lover. In fact, I'm getting really excited about the release of Beaujolais, which is coming up, I think, next weekend, third weekend in November, which is a really known wine out of Paris. If you're not familiar, definitely check it out. And for doing something fun outside of work, I enjoy DJing and traveling. So that's a little bit about me. Excited to learn more about you. Part of my work is doing a lot of speaking and training. So I get to speak at really cool conferences with awesome women like Michelle Obama and Brene Brown and Carla Harris. But my favorite part is connecting with people like you, sort of being right in the trenches, working with entrepreneurs on their businesses. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, if you're looking for really great, awesome, actionable tips outside of today's workshop, then I want to invite you to check out the Daily Success Show podcast, which is all about productivity for entrepreneurs. And you can find that at dailysuccessroutine.com and just click the podcast button at the top menu and you'll see all of our past episodes. And there's lots of good stuff. Our episodes often have worksheets that accompany them, which help you to take action on what you learn. So today is all about how to use routines to stop procrastinating and start prioritizing your plans. If you're ready to stop procrastinating, then give me a yes in the chat box and let's get this party going. Okay, so many other good comments in the chat. Bethany says, I have a product business and I'm freelancing to pay bills. Oops, chat's moving fast. Let me go back for a second. Bethany. Okay, there we go. And fund her product business. Awesome. And Heather says, still a dreamer for a personal business in Sacramento, looking to build skills to help developing personal businesses and husband's carpentry business in Nicaragua. How cool is that? Okay, awesome. I see lots of yeses in the chat. So let's get going. We're talking about how to use the routines to stop procrastinating and start prioritizing your plans. So my question to you is, what routines do you currently use? Share with me in the chat. Do you have any routines that you're currently using or practicing or doing? Or are you just kind of winging it, right? Like you wake up every day like, ooh, what do I feel like today? What am I going to do? Where will the wind blow me, right? What direction will the wind take me in? I'm curious to see if you're utilizing routines as a strategy at all in your life or business. Okay, while you type that in, I'm going to keep going and I'll check back in just a second. The biggest thing that I want you to take away from today, and we talked about this yesterday as well, is that it's your belief about how you value your time that prevents you from getting your business growth, the growth towards the bigger dreams and goals that you have for yourself. And so the work that we have to do as entrepreneurs is really change our belief system around time. Time is not your issue. 24 hours in a day is enough. But are you valuing the things that you actually say are important to you to be able to get different results? Okay. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, because that's the thing that is really going to help you make the shift to get what you want out of your business. All right. Rosemary says, definitely winging it. Haven't gotten the hang of balance. Awesome. We're going to talk about that. And Heather says she's been winging it as well. Recently had to leave her 9 to 5 and she's feeling adrift. I think she thinks routines would benefit her immensely, and they absolutely will. Heather, excited to share that with you, how to utilize them today. Rachel says she has a general guideline. Monday is work from home, Tuesday is all errands, Wednesday is flexible, Thursday is cleaning, housework, Friday is flexible. Okay, I love that. That's really, Rachel, what I would call um, focus days, right? Having certain days of the week that are dedicated to specific activities. But I love that. And Nia says, currently practicing meal prep. Love it. As building a discipline for routine. She also works during her lunch break for her side hustle. Love it. Find those fringe hours wherever you can. The gym 4 times a week, and the gym 4 times a week helps her to create a routine. Love that. Bethany says she has a morning routine trying to stop hitting snooze. Good, Bethany. But she cannot handle structuring your day. You've had 2 people make a time map. Ah, yes, we emailed about this, and neither has worked. And I know how to structure my day since she's in PR. It can creep over everything. I know PR is like that kind of always on business. A client calls you and then all of a sudden you're going down a whole rabbit hole, or they got some emergency, or you got a whole situation you need to resolve. And then you start the day with the best intentions, but it just doesn't always go as planned. I totally get it. So she's developed a bad habit of not doing a weekly brain dump, which makes her reactionary, and that hasn't been good. Okay, awesome. We're going to talk about that. I love that. So good, Bethany. All right. Building habits can be hard. Like when we're taking a habit-based approach, it can be hard. I mean, we've heard all kinds of stats around the science of building habits. It takes 21 days to build a habit and 31 days to really stay consistent with it. That's why I don't really focus on habits. When I was focused on habits, I wasn't doing so great. I switched my entire life and business to being focused on routines. Routines create results. And the best part about it is they create results on autopilot. And I'm going to share with you exactly how they do that. As we have our conversation today, I want you to think about how you can start leveraging routines in order to be consistent in taking action on your business. Even if you're working a 9 to 5 and running a business, I'm going to share with you tons of routines that you can use throughout your day. Think about it this way. For me, I used to have this experience years ago when I would get home. This was when I was in my, well, not necessarily my first apartment, but like my first apartment that wasn't associated with my college. Because, sometimes instead of dorm living, your college might have apartments you could live in. So this was like my first apartment that I found on my own and all that stuff. And when I used to come in, I would sit my keys down in all these random places. I would put them in the kitchen, put them in my purse, put them on the stairs, like all these crazy places. And what would happen is I would often misplace my keys. I'd be ready to go out to an event or meet a friend, and then I couldn't find my keys. I spent 20, 30 minutes looking all over the place for my keys. So I put a routine in place, which was every time that when I came in, I set my keys on the table. Does anybody else have a routine like that? Something super simple, like you have a place? Yeah, I see head shaking, where you always sit your keys in the same place. You don't even have to think about it now, right? When you walk in the house, you just put them where they go. That's an example of how routines can happen on autopilot, which are much different than habits, because you're like, oh, I have to remember to do this, and you're like begrudgingly doing it. But you can use a routine, right? Your trigger is sort of walking in the house, which reminds you to put your keys in that certain place. So I want to hear from you. What actions do you typically procrastinate on? What are the things that you want to accomplish in your business that you have been procrastinating on, and you know they would be significant for you? You know they would help you grow. You know they would help you earn more revenue. They would help you get the right clients. They would help you build your brand. They would help you increase your visibility. Like, what are those things that you know, like, oh my gosh, I need to stop procrastinating on this? Okay, Danielle, thank you, Rachel, for letting me know. She loves her crock pot, and if it doesn't get started, she ends up eating garbage for dinner. I keep hearing about these crock pots. I need to get me a crock pot. Everybody's talking about this whole like crock pot phenomenon. Like, you put it on a couple hours, you come back, and like your meal is totally ready. Bethany says she's also developed a good habit of creating new calendar of deadlines for my clients to task master them to minimize those Chinese fire drills. I'm curious, Bethany, do you also use any sort of project management tool? She says she procrastinates on weekly planning, identifying her 12-week year activities and league lag indicators, making sales calls for her product business and pitching her product business. And she likes to pitch her clients as well. Awesome. So I can tell, Bethany, you're no novice when it comes to personal development and thinking about productivity, right? Like, you've tried all the time management basics, and you're ready to like level up, right? So you can get better results. Nia says she procrastinates on reviewing her goals. Bethany uses Google Calendar, but she's been inconsistent with Trello. Okay, awesome. It might just be getting some support around Trello. I love Trello. We run our entire business and our entire team on Trello. And we're also testing out a new tool now too called ClickUp, but love Trello. And all of our clients are on Trello as well. So let's talk about some common causes of procrastination. Two of them we dug into yesterday. So if you're wanting to go deeper around these things, then I would definitely say go and check out the replay from yesterday's sessions. So common causes of procrastination, lack of priorities is a really big one, right? Like, you haven't really decided what's important in your business. Therefore, you're all over the place. That is a big cause of procrastination. The second one to look at is, have you identified the specific project goals that you're going to be working towards? I broke down completely exactly how to do that yesterday. Think about it this way. Projects are things that will move the meter in your business, right? So a project is like, putting up a new website, or in launching a new product, increasing your client base by 30%. Those are projects. They have multiple steps, and they're going to move the meter. It's not a one-off task or a few simple tasks. There are things that are going to take you a little bit of time to do, probably at least like 30 days, okay? So you got to get clear on what your projects are. We mapped out 12 months worth of projects yesterday. Then I want you to have, the next thing you want to check on is whether or not you have the next action that you're supposed to take. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. I find it way too often that business owners are making these to-do lists, which are very fluffy. They're not specific about what things they're going to work on, what the next action that they're going to take. So when you actually sit down and look at your list to figure out what to do, you're feeling a little baffled yourself. You don't know exactly where to start. So we have to make sure your to-do list really speaks to the next action that you need to take. And then finally is the fear of success or the fear of failure. I realized very young in my career that I was having this fear of success. And I feel like fear of success is a weird name for it, but I believe what it really is, like, if you get to the bottom of it, it's like fear of being big, like fear of, people saying like, who does she think she is, right? To build this business. Who does she think she is to, be on TV or host webinars or write these books. It's other people, or the fear that other people will sort of look at you and think that you've gotten too big for your britches, right? That's really at the root of fear of success. Fear of failure is when you're not taking the actions that you need to take that will power your business growth, because you're scared you're going to mess up. You're scared you're going to break the business or blow something up, or you finally gotten traction and you don't want to change anything, right? And so you're staying stuck. You're not doing the things that you need to do to get to the next level, right? So I want to know, share in the chat with me, which one of these common causes of procrastination have you suffered with? Okay, I see Bethany says big fear of failure and has also battled with fear of success. Nia said she just learned the past week that she has a fear of success and or fear of failure. Heather says she procrastinates on exercise and she know it's directly related. It's not directly related to business profitability, but it is a building block number one to help me clear my mind and thoughts and be able to set priorities and goals. Heather, I 100% agree. I 100% believe that our health and well-being is in fact very related to our business success. In fact, I say to myself, you know how you can get that negative naysayer voice to show up sometimes when you're trying something new or you're going for a big goal, and that negative naysayer is like, girl, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? Like, why are you trying to do this? Or she did this better than you, or you're not good enough. You don't know enough. You haven't had enough training to make this happen, right? You don't have the network for this. Like all the negative things that negative voice can say to us. I love jumping on the elliptical machine with her, jumping on the treadmill with her. And I'm like, only one of us is getting off and it's going to be me, right? And I like push and power through all those negative thoughts. Like the gym is a way for me to work through that. So I love that you said that. I absolutely believe that it is fundamental to being a successful entrepreneur that you have some kind of practice in ritual for your managing your mind, your health, and your well-being. Nia says running on the treadmill definitely helps me be aware of that voice and respond to it with action. Love that. Rosemary says the first three for her. She's a very creative person and always has too many ideas. Heather says love it. Bring that naysayer to work out. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So many great comments. I love you guys. This is the best group ever. All right, so now that you're clear on what's causing you to procrastinate, right, we're going to start getting into the next action. That's the one that I want to break down a little bit more to make sure that you have the next action. So I feel like that's a really big one. So here's how to detail out your next actions. So a bad example of writing what you're going to do next would say, oh, I'm going to work on the business today. Like, who's done that? Give me a yes in the chat box if that's so true for you. You've done that. I'm going to work on the business today. You like actually put that down on your to-do list. Or you might say, oh, I'm going to work on the sales page, or I'm going to work on my website. Or you just write the thing, whatever the thing is, social posts. Right? But not like what you're supposed to do with the social post, but just like social posts. Or you just might write something like write. But then what are you supposed to write? Right? So these are examples of what it's like to have bad next actions. These are not productive next actions. These are things that are going to cause you to procrastinate, right? And I don't want you doing that. So we have to change that around. And here's how it will work. Let me show you what some good examples are. A good example would be saying that you're going to interview 2 graphic designers, super specific, right? Let me take a step back here. Productivity means that you have created a result. To be productive means that results are happening. So when you're making your to-do list, your action list, it should speak to the result that you have gotten when that thing is done. Make sense? Let me just say that again. Productivity is producing results. Every time you go to work on your business, you should be producing a result. That means something is done, something's completed. So when you make your action list, you need to put down the thing you're actually going to complete. Okay, so some examples of that are saying, I'm going to interview 2 graphic designers, or I'm going to write the first half of my sales page today, or I'm going to follow up with the 5 potential clients that I met at a networking event yesterday, right? Those are great examples of knowing the next action that you're going to do that is going to produce a result in your business. Okay, Bethany says, my most productive days are when I create project sheets and take the thinking out of it because I've already thought through what I need to do and I can just focus on the do. Love it, Bethany. I am not just taking time to create the project sheets. Oh, you're just not taking the time to create the project sheets. I know why, because it feels like extra work, right? You're like, I should just start doing it. Oh, okay, so she says, sigh, I tell myself it takes too much time. Oh, I didn't even read that yet. Oh, this is a big one, Bethany. I'm so glad you said this. Sometimes we feel like the prep work, right? Like it's so much easier just to write down, going back to the bad examples, work on sales page, social posts. Like you're thinking to yourself, well, I already know what to do. Yeah, you might. But the problem is when you sit down and you have a list with 20 things on it and they all have these ambiguous notes about them, it becomes very confusing about what to prioritize, what's important, what do you do first. When you take the time to plan things out and I'm not for getting caught up in the planning, right? That's why Plannerpalooza is all about planning to execute. So I'm not for getting caught up in the planning. I'm for you planning just enough so that you can take action. Here at the Daily Success team, in about 2 weeks, we're having not a retreat, but a team meeting where we're planning out 2020. Right now, let's say it'll take us a few hours to go through that entire meeting and plan out a whole year, right? Like that's going to take some time. And we won't do it in one sitting. There'll be a lot of work, follow-up work that'll happen from that, but it will be done in December, before the end of December, right? Like it'll be done within a week or two. And then we can spend the second half of December executing on those plans. Trust me that you can get so much further faster when you take the time to plan to execute, right? To make sure that things are lined up so you can execute really well. I'm going to show you a little bit about templating today, but the other thing that I want you to take away here is sometimes we feel like the planning things out is a waste of time or takes too much time. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of what you're doing is a repeated action, right? There's stuff that you have to do in your business every single week or every single month. So if you just create the plan once, you can pull out that plan again when you go back to doing the thing. You don't have to recreate the plan. And I think we don't think about that, right? When it comes to, and we teach this to all of our clients at Daily Success Routine, all of our clients have a color-coded action plan for their week, okay? We call it a priority blocked calendar or their color-coded action plan. It's a template. So you don't have to like replan out your week every week. You're just changing the things that are new to that week. So this is so gold. I'm so glad you said that, Bethany. It's really about making sure that you can do that appropriate strategic planning that helps you to execute better. So I want to hear from you. How will having clear next actions help your business grow? Share in the chat. I'm excited to hear. How will having clear next actions help your business grow? I'm going to check back in a second to see what you said. So I want to jump into talking about how to utilize routines to autopilot your priorities, okay? how to utilize routines to autopilot your priorities. So today I'm going to reveal 7 routines. Yes, 7. I know you thought there was just one, like your morning routine or something, right? No, 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 no. There's 7 routines that you can utilize to autopilot your success. But let me first share how routines work. The way that you reach a business goal is by changing the routine that is associated with it. So I want to give you 3 steps that you can use to sort of check in with yourself to know whether or not the way you set this up will actually work. First is you might want to create a reminder. Your reminder is the trigger that initiates the behavior. Remember, I talked about the trigger for my keys is walking in the house. That's the trigger. When I walk in, I put the keys in a certain place. That's the trigger. When I come in, keys go on the side table. Done. I don't have to think about it. So that's the routine. The keys go on the side table. Then what's the reward? Well, the reward is I don't have to be late to go meet a friend or a business meeting or anything that I need to do wondering where my keys are, right? Like I get to be like a serious adult because I'm not losing my keys every 5 minutes. So I want you to think about what is the trigger that you can associate with a routine for something that you need to accomplish in your business. And I'm going to break this down for you a little bit more. Bethany says, I believe it will help me take more action and stop overthinking and being unsure of what to do next. Love that, Bethany. Nia says she will be able to take action to overcome any fear of failure that you might have. Amen to that. I 100% agree. So here's how routines can autopilot what you need to accomplish in your business and in your life. All right, let me share with you some examples. Let's say that your goal is to develop a spiritual practice. Well, your routine might be 15 minutes of meditation every single day. 15 minutes, no fail. You do it as a part of your routine. Let's say you have a goal to eat healthier. Well, then you might decide you're going to do a green juice every day to make sure you're getting the right nutrients in your body. Let's say that you have a goal of achieving a toned body, right? Like you want to get your Michelle Obama arms on. So then you may have a routine of lifting weights at the gym. Let's say you have a goal of building your Instagram following so you can gain more visibility in your business. Well, then you may have a routine of posting every day and following at least 20 people. Let's say you have a goal of feeling more energized while you're working. This is so critical for us as business owners, like no matter what, especially if you're also working a 9 to 5 while running your business, then you definitely need to be generating energy. Part of the way of doing that, right, is making sure that you're getting the right amount of rest, going to bed at a reasonable time. So let's say 10 p.m. as an example. Let's say that part of work in your business is that you want to increase your visibility by doing more thought leadership, getting your thought leadership out into the world. So you decide you're going to write a book. Well, then your routine would be 1 hour of morning writing. All right, so I want you to pick right now and share in the chat what is a goal you want to accomplish and what's the routine that you're going to associate with that goal, right? So when I'm saying routine, this is the action, right? The routine action that you're going to take. We're going to talk more about broader based routines, which you will do these actions in just a second. So let's hear what's the goal, what's the routine, right? Maybe there's something else you want to accomplish in your business, like growing your revenue. Then you need to reach out to a specific amount of clients per day. Let me just see if I can reach for my water here. Oh, of course, my water jug is empty. What was I thinking? I forgot to get water. All right, so what are your routines and those routine actions that you need to take? Okay. Bethany says, double the number of retail accounts I have, 20 calls per day. Love it, Bethany. That is so boss. Awesome. So keep sharing in the chat what your goal is and what the routine is associated with it. And I'm going to come back and check in just a second. The thing that you have to think about here, right, when it comes to routines, autopiloting your goals, is you don't have to remember to brush your teeth, do you? Right? Hopefully not. So this is how routines work. Like, they just autopilot what you want to accomplish. Imagine if you're doing your routine of 20 calls a day, do you think you're going to have trouble getting those retail accounts? Absolutely not. Like, it's going to happen very, very quickly. Mia says at least one apartment in a month of December. The routine would be to refresh her posts, her posted weekly ads, and schedule multiple showings per week. I love that, Nia. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in 2 seconds. So let's go through the 7 essential routines that will transform your life and your business. All right. Routine number 1. So write these down. And I'm going to give you the question that you need to ask yourself to know whether or not you have the right routine in place. Routine number 1 is the morning routine. We've all heard about the morning routine, right? So funny. I was meeting with a client the other day, and she was saying that she doesn't actually like her morning routine. She's been doing this morning routine for a really long time, and she doesn't even like it. Like, she's just doing it kind of like status quo, right? So we revised her morning routine to be one that answered the question for her: did I set up the day to win? You know you have a good morning routine when it sets up your day to win. Think about it this way. If you have to drive to your office, right, in the morning, think about the mornings when you have done something to fulfill yourself. Maybe you've done prayer or meditation or a couple yoga poses or something, affirmations, something to just really ground yourself. On those days when you go out and you get in traffic and people cut you off and people are mean on the road, it sort of just like brushes off your shoulder. It doesn't really bother you as much as it does on a day where you haven't taken that time, right? Then you're using all kinds of expletives, you're ready to like get into like a whole road tangle with people. And you don't want to be in that position. It becomes very difficult to manage the day-to-day stresses that might come up that will definitely feel like stresses because you haven't taken care of yourself in a way that they wouldn't feel like stresses if you are taking care of yourself and setting up your day to win. All right. So that's the morning routine. Did you set up your day to win? Number 2 is hour of power. And this is a really important practice that you can utilize to grow your business. Your hour of power is 1 hour per day that you're going to use to work towards your 90-day projects. And again, if you're unclear on what your 90-day projects would be, check out the entire episode that we did on how to follow through on your goals and create a profitable business. And I break down how to set up your 90-day project year. So hour of power is time every day to focus on those bigger projects, at least 1 hour. If you don't have 1 hour for your life and to move your bigger goals forward, you do not have a life, right? You need to set aside this dedicated time for your business growth. I highly recommend doing this first thing in the morning. So even if you are working from home, you go into your office, you start the day for your business, and then you do your hour of power. What is the thing that is most important for you right now? For example, for me, my hour of power is spent rewriting my book. So I released the book a couple of years ago, actually more than a couple of years ago. I happen to have it here because I'm working on it every day. From Pain to Power is my book. And next year, 2020, will be the 10-year anniversary of From Pain to Power. So I want to release a second edition. So I'm spending 1 hour every day working on that project. Guess how quickly it's going to get done by just having that dedicated amount of time. So I'm just getting started with that this month. I will have that book completed maybe by the end of November, but definitely by the end of December. It'll be done, completely done, because I'm using 1 hour every single day, right? So how do you need to spend your hour of power? What is the big project that you're working towards that you can start doing tomorrow, 1 hour a day? Now, if you're not able to do it first thing in the morning, that's totally fine. Find the hour wherever you can find it. If you're working a 9 to 5 and running a business, make it your lunchtime. Make it your last hour at work. If you come home to a family and an active household and you sort of need to change gears when you walk in the door, then maybe you're spending an hour extra at work to get some things done for your business between 5 and 6 o'clock before you go home, right? Wherever you can get it done, get it done. That's your hour of power. Trust me, you will see big results happen uh, in your business if you use this practice. In fact, if you use nothing else but this practice, you will see big results in your business. Hey, Lisa. Lisa says that she um, wants to double her client base by adding a routine of making 20 to 25 outreach introductory calls weekly. Love it. Bethany says retailers don't open to 10, so should I do something else that first hour of the day? Maybe doing PR for myself since you procrastinate on that. Absolutely. So figure out what do you want to accomplish around PR for yourself. In fact, I'm going to give you another strategy that you can use for your PR, another routine you can use for your PR in 2 seconds. But I would think about what's going to move the meter forward in your business. I'm sure you know as a PR professional that PR doesn't always result in clients. Sometimes it results in awareness to potential clients, but it doesn't always result in sales dollars. So I would say for your hour of power, what's the thing that's going to allow you to create financial results for your business? Try to think of something along those lines. All right, Bethany was the perfect lead in, and Lisa for routine number 3, which is 3 by 3, which stands for 3 calls by 3 o'clock. Well, why 3 o'clock, you might be thinking? Because what often happens, and this is years of working with entrepreneurs and business leaders, we start making excuses for ourselves, right? It's 3:30, it's 4 o'clock. You're like, oh, it's the end of the day. Nobody wants to be bothered. It's too late to call people, right? You can even make excuses around lunchtime, like, oh, everyone's at lunch between 12 and 2. Like, we come up with all these reasons why you can't do your outreach. And it's critical for your growth to do your outreach. So the routine is 3 calls by 3 o'clock. You decide what outreach you need to do. Is that sales calls that you need to make? Is that marketing outreach that you need to do? Is it PR? Or is it building relationships? Maybe you met some new people this week. You want to follow up with them, see if there's an opportunity for you to work together. All right. 3 calls by 3 o'clock is also another routine that you can implement that will help you to grow your business. All right, routine number 4 is a work day wrap-up routine. Do you currently have the habit of just getting up from your desk? You're like, 5 o'clock, I'm out of here, right? You just kind of get up and walk away. You don't clean up your desk. You don't put anything away. You don't close out final emails or make a list of what you're supposed to do tomorrow. You just get up, pack up your purse, and walk out the door, right? You want to have a workday wrap-up routine that answers the question, did I mark where I left off and plan for tomorrow? Let me tell you how to use your workday wrap-up. Your workday wrap-up, you can do any of the things I've just mentioned, cleaning off your desk, putting away certain papers, putting away things that you're not using, making sure that you zero out your email inbox or get through all of the emails that came in today so that you're not having a pile up, right, over the week or over several weeks. You can utilize it to confirm appointments that you have for the next day. It is the worst thing when you schedule with somebody and last minute they're like, oh, I'm not coming, or I can't make it, or something came up, when 9 times out of 10, something didn't came up, right? It was that you were overcommitted. You knew you had something you had to work on. You couldn't keep the meeting. And so now, instead of being responsible about your time and like being a pro and communicating in advance, you're now making this last minute decision to let somebody know all of a sudden that you can't make the meeting, right? So you don't want to be that person, right? We want to be profitable and professional business owners. And the way that you do that is by implementing the workday wrap up routine to make sure that you are completing what needs to be completed for the day. Another thing that's great about this workday wrap up routine is you can look at that action list, right? Your to-do list that you made for that day. So let's say, it's a Monday, maybe you set out with 5 things you wanted to accomplish before the end of the day, but you only got 3 of them done. So then you can reevaluate during your workday wrap up routine and say, okay, well, I know I need to tackle these 2 things tomorrow. So let me make adjustments on what I originally planned to accomplish tomorrow to make sure that I can move those things around so I can get the 2 things done that I didn't finish today. Or maybe there's something on my list that I need to just go ahead and delegate because I see that I'm not going to get to this. And so that's where your top-notch team will come in, right? Like making sure that you can cast your top-notch team. So you want to have a workday wrap up routine that answers the question, did I mark where I left off and did I plan for tomorrow? All right. Rosemary says, this is probably the only routine that I have daily besides where I put my keys. And Bethany says, I even have an end of day review in my Google Calendar, and you always skip. Oh, Bethany. So I see, Bethany, that you have a pattern of resisting structure that you create, right? Like, you don't necessarily have, right, a lack of knowing what to do, but you resist the structure. So sounds like you probably need a lot of accountability, and also to be able to really start changing your beliefs about how you spend your time. These things are going to make a difference for you, but there's a story running in your mind about how you should be spending your time that is superseding the systems that you set up for yourself. And we have to get to what that story is, what those stories are, and start changing them up so that you can actually follow through on your goals. All right, number 5 is a prep routine. Did you spend time to prepare for important meetings or other things that you're supposed to prep? So someone earlier mentioned that they do meal prep, right? That's definitely a way of using a prep routine. I can't tell you how many people show up to meetings unprepared. Like, they just walk in with a notebook, like a sponge. Like, what are we talking about? They haven't done any pre-work. They haven't made an agenda. They haven't thought about the conversations they're going to have. But guess what? This is worse. This happens not only when it comes to team meetings, but it's even worse when it comes to client meetings. You don't want to show up to a client meeting just like raw and unprepared, right? You want to be able to do your due diligence. You want to look into, what is this potential client thinking about? What are their concerns? If you're working with individuals, right, you might go check them out on social media, see what they're talking about, see what their most pressing issues are, see what things are of interest to them, what other kinds of companies are they following. If this is on the business side, the same thing. Check them out on LinkedIn, see what they're doing. Even potential customers, check them out on LinkedIn. Now, this is all really so that you can better color the conversation that you have. I'm not talking about just sort of like uselessly stalking somebody, right? I'm talking about how to get a better understanding of your potential clients before you have a conversation with them, so that you can be able to figure out what their most important needs are, right? Do your research, do your due diligence. Don't just show up to a meeting cold, unprepared. It's very unpro and amateur. And I know that you're here because you are a pro, or you're working to level up your business, and preparing is the number one thing that you can do to make sure that you are operating with excellence and at a high level in your business. All right. So set up that time to prep. Prep is also something that you might do at the end of your day, right? Just thinking about, okay, what do I have going on tomorrow? Am I prepared? Am I good to go? Do I need to pull any documents? Just checking in with yourself. It doesn't have to be anything long. Sometimes I've prepared for meetings in like 5 or 10 minutes just by taking that little bit of time to set my mind right. And I was able to have a more successful meeting. Going back to the lifestyle side of things, if you are trying to follow a very specific diet, maybe you're thinking about keto or paleo, or there's a certain way that you want to eat. And when you are not on top of your prep in terms of your meals, what happens? You end up eating junk, right? Like stuff that you don't want to eat. And so taking the time to prep will prevent that from happening. So critical. Okay, routine number 6, your power down routine. And your power down routine should answer the question, did you let go of the day so you could rest? I don't know if you are like me, but I have definitely had the experience of laying down in the bed and continuing a conversation that happened during the day, right? Maybe somebody said something that upset me, or they did something that I didn't like. And I'm sort of like cursing them out in my head. Like, I should have told her this and I should have said that. And who does she think she is? Right. And so you're like going through all these things in your head, or even worse than that is that you're running through your list of all the things you didn't do or the things that you need to do the next day. It makes it very difficult for you to have a restful sleep at night. So the best way to be able to make sure that you can have a restful sleep is to create a power down routine. So what do you need to do to be able to let go of the day? Is that prayer? Is that meditation? Is it journaling? There was a time where I struggled to sleep. And this happens to me, on a periodic basis where, I'm working on some really big goals, and it's not always from a negative place, like something's wrong, but sometimes it's that I'm so energized around an idea that I have trouble sleeping. And one of the things that has worked for me as a part of my power down routine is just keeping a notebook on my bedside table where I could write down those ideas, write down thoughts, write down the things that I want to do tomorrow, or things that are running in the back of my head that my brain doesn't want me to forget to do. Keep a little notepad or notebook on your bedside table, write those things down, just have a routine of doing that before you go to bed so that you can let go of everything. Your power down routine might include brushing your teeth or washing your face or giving yourself a little facial, something that might make you feel good before bed. So what are some things that you might want to do in terms of your power down routine? I would love to hear, share in the chat. What are some power down routine activities that you might want to implement? Rosemary says, me on a daily basis, my brain stays on go. She's physically tired and sleepy, but the brain won't shut off. It happens to the best of us, Rosemary. And trust me, try this practice of writing things down. The other thing that worked for me was meditation. And I will be the first to admit I am not an expert when it comes to meditation. And I don't think you're always able to 100% like quiet your mind, like not have any thoughts. I think the real practice, right, is that when you're meditating, it's really just you're sitting in silence. And as thoughts rise in your mind, you are quieting those thoughts, you're letting them pass. I like meditating with a specific focus. For example, I might just have some kind of, affirmation or mantra that I'm saying, like, I am confident and capable. I am confident and capable of achieving all of my dreams and my heart's desires, right? I'm confident and capable of achieving all my dreams and my heart's desires. And so just saying that over and over and over. And so when other thoughts rise, like, oh, don't forget to put the clothes in the washer and the dryer. Oh, don't forget to drop off that stuff at the cleaners tomorrow, right? You just go back to your mantra. I am confident, I am capable. And so you just keep like centering your thoughts. what it does is it actually develops this practice of quieting down the mind. It allows you to slow down your thoughts so that you can, in fact, get rest. It might even be music. You might have some, I know I have some clients that listen to, what do you call it? Ambient music or sounds of the ocean, like when they go to bed. And that quiets them down and helps them to feel more relaxed. Okay, Nia says, doing my face regimen, no phone for 30 minutes before bed. Love that. Would be a great way for her to power down. Those are awesome, Nia. I think those are great. Bethany says, I never really thought about a power down routine. I haphazardly get ready for bed. And I think being present with this routine and taking time for myself and reading a devotional would be great. Absolutely. Oh, I love that, doing a devotional. That's a really good one. Tony says, read a great romance novel, Yoga with Sarah Beth on YouTube. I'm not familiar with her. I'll have to check her out. And Nia says, using lavender pillow spray would be an added bonus. Ooh, Nia, I didn't know there was a lavender pillow spray. I'm all about lavender. I try to get fresh lavender. I guess I can only do it seasonally. So I go to Whole Foods when they put out their fresh lavender, which I think is in the spring. And I usually get it, but it doesn't last very long. Like it'll last like a day or two. And then I feel like the lavender scent, I usually put it in my bedroom for that same reason, that calming. And it doesn't last, but I love that you said lavender pillow spray. I'm all about it. Okay, she said it, TJ Maxx. I'm on it. I'm gonna get my lavender pillow spray. In fact, let me make a note right here. Lavender pillow spray. Done. It's happening. Okay, Tony says 10, 20, 30 minutes. You decide. Yes, absolutely. So how long you do your power down routine is totally up to you. Oh, she mentioned the yoga routines. Yes, you can. I love that. Okay, so the yoga routine um, person that you're using, or the person that you're getting the yoga routines from, Sarah, has different exercises or different yoga workouts for 10, 20, or 30 minutes. I love that. I'm totally going to check it out. Danielle says lavender essential oil in a cotton ball. Oh, lavender essential oil. Put that on a cotton ball and then put that on your pillowcase. Ooh, I like you ladies. All of these good tips. Awesome. I'm going to try that too. Nia says life changing. Great, great, great. I'm so excited to hear that. Okay, so let's keep going for routine number 7 here. And I'm just noticing we're just at time. So routine number 7, and then we're done. Routine number 7 is the self-care routine. And that answers the question, did I take care of my health and well-being, which obviously is your most important asset as a business owner, right? You don't have your health, you don't have anything. Now, there's 2 ways that we teach self-care routines at Daily Success Routine, and I want to teach them both to you, okay? So the first one is called soul goals, okay? SOUL, soul goals. Soul goals is 15 minutes for yourself every day. It only has to take 15 minutes. I think sometimes self-care feels like a guilty pleasure because we believe that it has to be this indulgent thing. It's going to take an hour, it's going to take 2 hours, and so we don't make the effort to do it. But if you practice soul goals, that's just 15 minutes for self-care every day, then you can make it happen, right? So what might you do in 15 minutes? You could have a bubble bath. You can read the book that's been collecting dust on your nightstand. You could do your yoga workout, like Tony, whatever it is for you, just 15 minutes. It doesn't require anybody else. You could go for a walk. You could go for a run, right? You could journal, whatever makes you feel good. Polish your nails, right? Give yourself a mini facial in the bathroom. All right, so that's soul goals, and that's how that works. The other self-care that we teach is a more regimented self-care routine, like setting up a monthly massage. There's all of these amazing companies now that have monthly massage programs. You become a member, and for $49 a month or $59 a month, you can get a monthly massage. So that's a self-care routine that you might do on a monthly basis, or something like getting your hair done, right? Might be something you do on a monthly basis or twice a month basis. Or maybe it's getting a mani-pedi that you do, once a month or every 2 weeks, depending on how often you need it. So I want you to think about your self-care in terms of, what's the micro thing that I can do to increase my own personal happiness on a daily basis? And then I want you to think more on a macro level. What are the bigger ongoing self-care routines that you want to set up that are going to make sure that you have a ritual, right, for your health and well-being, right? These are even things like your dentist appointment, doing that every 6 months. Like, those are bigger picture self-care routines that you want to have in place, but you also want to have those soul goals. Because when you start feeling, and let me tell you how you know when you are at a deficit of self-care, when you are at a deficit, when your happiness meter is down, it's because you start getting easily irritated and ticked off, right? A colleague comes over to your desk to ask a question, you're annoyed, your kids ask you questions, you're frustrated, your team members are constantly asking you questions, you're frustrated, or you feel like, I've already told this person to do what to do, why are they asking questions? Like, you just feel short, right? Like your fuse is very short. It is a sign that you have been giving, right? You've been putting a lot more out than you are actually filling up yourself. And it is critical that we do both as business owners, right? You're always going to be giving because you're giving to your clients, you're giving to the people that you're serving. But you have to also recharge your own batteries. You can't just keep giving, giving, giving until there's nothing left, because guess what that's called? Burnout, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and that's no place to thrive. So we need to have these self-care routines so that you are setting yourself up for success. And as much as you have to give, you are also recharging your inner well-being. All right, so those are the 7 routines that you can use to help you grow your business. And I want to hear, which routine will you implement? Now, let me just say this, and I want you to share this in the chat. This is not about you trying to do all of these routines tomorrow, okay? I want you to pick 1, 2 at most that you're going to implement, that are you're going to use, right? So remember how we came up with what the action was. So thinking about your goal and the activity that you're going to do related to your goal, what routine do you need to put that activity inside of, right? So based on what you said, is that something that you should do in the morning? Is that something that you should be doing during your power down? Is that something you should be doing during your hour of power? Is that something you should be doing during your workday wrap up? Well, probably not your workday wrap up, right? If it's something that's going to move your business forward. So what's based on the goals that you came up with, what's the routine that you need to implement? And I would encourage you to think about something for your business and something for your life, because we gotta be growing in both areas. One of my famous sayings that I always say to our community and to our clients is that your business can only grow as much as you do. Entrepreneurship is the best personal growth work that anybody can do. Guess why? Because you will always be the capacity constraint. If you are uncomfortable selling, you will get to a point in your business where you're like, I don't want to sell. I don't want to ask for the business. And you have to figure out how to personally overcome that so that you can get to that next level in revenue, right? So you will always be the capacity constraint, but that's the good news, because you can grow as an individual. So that's the opportunity. All right. Heather says she's looking at the morning routine, and hour of power would be the best place for her to start and get going on the right foot. Nia says going to the gym weekly would be a huge accomplishment for her. Bethany says she loves the soul goals. Heather's also thinking that, I mentioned Heather. Nia's also thinking about the power down routine would be good. Morning routine taking a little longer to wrap up her head around. Okay, she's also going to do the hour of power. Love that. Okay, Danielle says 3 by 3. She procrastinates on the follow-up. It's too early. It's lunchtime. It's too late. Yes. Okay, good, Danielle. I love it. 3 by 3 is the one she's going to practice. Bethany says she wants to focus on routine number 2, hour of power, and the work day wrap-up routine. Love it. Cassandra says she really likes the morning routine, self-care, and the work day wrap-up. Okay, awesome. So you know what you need to do to be able to get the results that you want to get now. Remember this, and this is why this is so critical when you're thinking about executing your goals for 2020. Your goals, specific actions need to be wrapped inside a routine that allows you to do it on autopilot. You don't think about it. You do your hour power every day. As soon as you get to your desk, it's just what you do. It's just who you are. You do your hour power. That's it. You don't think about it, like brushing your teeth. You don't think about it. You just do it. Hopefully you're not thinking about brushing your teeth, right? Like you're just doing it. So that's how it works. When it comes to executing your goals for 2020, you need routines that support the execution of the goal activity. So what is the action you need to take? What's the routine that's going to support you consistently taking action on that goal? This is the secret to success, is utilizing routines to make sure you get things done. Let go of trying to like adopt these arduous habits. It's way, way, way too difficult. Routines will get you results. All right, so I want you to go out and apply these routines today. I was going to quickly show you a calendar of how to block these routines. Maybe I will take a second, but let me just wrap up. Anybody who wants to stay an additional 5 minutes, I'll show you how this looks on a calendar really quickly. But I want to give you the challenge activity for today. All right, so I want to hear in the chat, how will using routines allow your business to grow? And I'm going to share the challenge activity while you type that up. So today's challenge activity, if you want to qualify for the prizes, is I want you to create your December calendar, or if you're so inspired, do your January 2020 calendar, right? Where you plug in your routines, right? So if you're doing hour power, then you would just go drop on, let's just say if you use a Google Calendar or Outlook calendar, you're gonna go drop on your calendar, okay, here is where I'm gonna do my hour power every day. Here's where I'm gonna do my power down routine, right? So so you might say, okay, I'm gonna do my power down routine at 10 p.m. every single night, Monday through Friday. I'm gonna give myself flexibility on the weekends because maybe you hang out late or do different things on the weekends, right? And maybe say for your hour power, like I'm gonna do my hour power every single day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as soon as I get to my desk, or at 9 a.m. as soon as I get to my desk, before those fire drills show up, before people start derailing your day. So I want you to just figure out, so think about this. If you're using a calendar like Outlook or Google, and if you want to do this on paper, that's totally fine too. I'm all for the paper. I'm here for it. I'm a stationary kind of gal. So you want to create, I want you to map this out now. We're not going to be dilly-dallying when it comes to 2020. We're going to get started on our 2020 now, start executing our 2020 now. So that's why I want you to just plug in and just put it as a repeat. So you don't have to manually, right? If you're using a digital calendar, put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like you just say, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock, hour power, okay? You're gonna take a picture of that and you're gonna post it inside of the Success Squad, our private Facebook group, so that you can qualify for some of the Palooza prizes. And if you want to bonus and level it up and get extra points, then I want you to follow Daily Success Routine or IG Facebook, wherever you are, and use the hashtag Plannerpalooza to share what your big takeaways were from today. All right. Now, if all of this sounds amazing and you like to figure out about how to get more support from Daily Success Routine, then I want to invite you to schedule a call with me or my team. Yes, I believe I approved you right before we started, Bethany, but I'll double check as soon as we're done. You can schedule a call with me or my team, and here's the link. I'm just going to drop that into the chat, dailysuccessroutine.co/schedule, right? And we can help you to implement everything you're learning. If you're like, Jamila, this is brilliant, but I know myself, I'm going to kill this for 2 weeks and then I'm going to fall off the wagon, then you need to set up a call with me and the team. So let me show you. Actually, I want to drop some links for you really quick before we go. So I just stopped sharing my screen, so don't worry, your computer didn't go crazy or anything like that. But I'm going to give you some links for things really quick, and then I'm also going to pull up this calendar super quick. Also, if you have questions for me, drop them in the chat or drop a cue if you want me to unmute you so you can ask your questions live. I'm just setting up my Google to kind of show you what this looks like or how you can apply this in your business. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Let me give you these links really quick. All right, hopefully that works. All right, so I did mention, I think I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, let me go back to sharing my screen, that tomorrow, yes, I did, at the top of our event, I mentioned that tomorrow we're having an open house for our Achievers Club program. So if you're interested in learning about that, there's the link to join the open house, and I'll make sure we just send that out via email so you have it that way too. That's happening at 2 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for our last Plannerpalooza session, which is going to be all about creating your money roadmap. So do not miss that. If you want to book a call with me or our team, there's the link to do that. I'm going to forewarn you. Our calendar tends to fill up quickly. So take action if that's something that you're interested in. And then Success Squad is the private Facebook group that we have where you can post your challenge activities and get credit towards winning Plannerpalooza prizes. So we have really cool things like our Achiever water bottles, daily success routine planning pads, t-shirts, vision journals, all kinds of cool stuff. All right, so take action, post your Palooza challenges. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap now with showing you this calendar really quick so you can see how this all comes together. The open house is usually about 30 minutes. It's not very long. I'll stay for people who have questions, but it's super short. So let me get rid of this and jump over here. Okay, so here is a sample using my calendar and sort of how I plug this in, okay? So you can see my hour of powers are plugged in for every single day, and that's 8 to 9. That's when I'm gonna do those project-based goals. Then I even have a sales block, right? So when it comes to 3x3, you know, my outreach, sales, marketing, PR, I have a block that I do that every 4 days a week, right? 10 to 1, that's my sales block. Then I also have, you know, other activities on here where I have focus activities. So for me, I plug in my focus days, and we didn't talk a lot about focus days today, but I'll just sort of share very briefly. On certain days of the week, I handle certain activities in the business. So on Mondays, for example, that's my CEO day. So I'm doing things around looking at our KPIs, our success metrics, right? How are we performing in the business? So let me just show you some examples here, right? I check our stats, review our financial goals, and do payroll, right? So those are some of the things that I may tackle during my CEO day. Now, let me be clear. I call it CEO day, but as you can see, I'm not spending the whole day doing these activities. It's just saying that Monday is the day that my CEO activities are going to get done, and I have a 2-hour block to make them happen. So if you're struggling to figure out, well, when do I get all this stuff done, and how do I manage all the hats that I have to wear in my business and the other areas of my life, using this system on your calendar will make a very significant difference for you, so that you know exactly what to execute on what days, you know, the exact routines that you're going to follow, right? So giving you another quick example, on Tuesdays, that's my content day. So, you know, in my Tuesday, I'm just trying to see if I could unpack this a little bit more, right? So in my Tuesday, I have, scroll down here. Where's my little scroll arrow? Oh, here it is. I'm like, where's the arrow? Oh, so my description is up here. Usually I put it in the body, right? So let me put it in the body so you can see it better. So on Tuesday, we have a newsletter blast that goes out with our most recent podcast episode. It's when I do the outlines for our podcast and record our podcasts. And that's also a day that I set aside time for reaching out, doing media pitching and sort of PR activities, right? So I'll have, now, remember I was talking about how you don't have to like recreate the wheel every week. So I have on here when these things are supposed to happen. But let's just say if I know on a Tuesday, you know, I have an offsite meeting on Tuesday afternoon, then I already have this sitting here on my calendar. I'm just going to drag it around. So it's not going to like go away, but I'm going to say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to need to do this earlier in the morning. I'm not going to be able to spend 2 hours. I'm going to spend 1 hour. Or maybe I'm going to do, you know, 2 hours of sales. You know, like you can just easily change things around. All right. So that's how to utilize everything that we talked about today, like taking those routines, putting them on your calendar, putting it all into action to make sure that you can absolutely follow through on the goals that you set out to accomplish. All right, so I want to just take a few minutes and answer any questions that you might have. Nia says, so you save events for each week and then drag them according to your weekly schedule. Absolutely, that's exactly how I do it. So this is why I want you to do this activity. You lay out what you need to accomplish. Once you lay it out, it's done. When you are remember how we talked about, like, as a part of your workday wrap up routine, you might be planning out your tomorrow. You're not planning it from scratch. You're like, oh, well, based on what I need to do today, I need to move this around, adjust this, adjust that, right? So that you're setting up your day for success the day before. Nia says she'd like the template of scheduled time. Awesome. Bethany says, I put time on my calendar to send receipts to my bookkeeper on Friday, but I seriously don't feel like doing it on Friday. I'm thinking of moving it to Monday as a part of the CEO hour. I feel like doing it more on a Monday. Absolutely. I love that, Bethany. I think it's important as entrepreneurs, we're tuned into our natural energy. Like when we're more energetically going to do things. I absolutely made the switch a couple years ago. I had it set up that Friday was going to be like my bookkeeping day. And guess what happened on Friday? I never felt like it. I was like, I don't want to review numbers on Friday. This is not how I want to spend Friday. So I started doing it on Monday and I look forward to it. I'm like, oh, what are our numbers? How do we do? What's going on? Where are we in terms of our sales for this month, right? I'm a lot more excited about that on a Monday morning. So I love that you said that. Absolutely. We have to be super aware of our own energy. Danielle, if you're looking for yesterday's recording, you can find that inside of our private Facebook group. So let me repost those. Oh, I lost my links because I pasted. Let me go back and grab those links for you. So here they are. So I posted the links up above. Oh, you're so awesome. Thank you, Bethany. So that's where you can find. So go to the Success Squad link. If you're not already in, then I will accept you as soon as we are done. And let's see, did I miss anything? This was very helpful to see. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And am I missing anyone? No, I think I got everyone. Awesome. So are there any other questions? Anyone want to unmute and ask your question live? You absolutely can. Happy to stick around for another 3 or 4 minutes. But in advance, I want to just say thank you so much, Tony, Rosemary, Danielle, Nia, Lisa, Lauren, Heather, Cassandra, Bethany, and everybody else who attended today. I'm so excited to hear how things go once you implement the practices that we learned tonight. And the thing about PR, shoot, the tip you had about my PR. Say more, Bethany. Do you want to unmute?
Hi, I remember when we were going through the, I think it was like when we were in the middle of the routines and you said that you had another idea for me. And then we kept going through the routines and I think you didn't come back to it. I just want to make sure that I wrote it down.
Oh, the 3x3, because you talked about, I talked about using your hour of power to do something that is going to help you with your sales, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
then utilize your 3x3 for your own outreach. If you want
Oh,
to
okay.
start for your business, right? Then just say, so for example, I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, we're spending time on pitching for podcasts that I could be a guest on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 3x3 outreach. So I don't want you to feel like the PR that you're doing for your business has to be arduous. But let's just say if you were pitching yourself, sending pitch emails for
Mm-hmm.
whatever, magazines, doesn't matter. You just create a template that you're going to use and then send 3 emails a day and that's it.
Okay.
Don't make it like that it takes a whole hour. Make it something that you can do super quickly. And
Okay.
you already have the skill of knowing like how to hone the message for that particular audience. That comes super natural to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then just spend a small amount of time doing 3x3 for your PR outreach, because since it doesn't always net in sales, and then spend your
Yeah.
hour of power for something that is going to ensure that you're bringing in business. Is your product already available or is it not available?
Yes. Yep.
It
It's
is.
already, I already have 12 retailers, 13 now. I just got a new one. So just trying to get to the point where I'm able to hit 6 figures in sales so it can self-fund itself without me having to self-fund it.
Love it. All right. So drop your link into the chat so people can go check out your product.
Okay.
What is it?
For Terra Skincare.
Skincare. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody here has skin. Let us know. Let's support each other.
Okay.
Nia says, thank you, Jamila. I always set my goals, but the routine aspect is a game changer. This will give me a guideline to implement. Love it, love it, love it. So glad that this has been helpful. Are there any other questions before we go? Heather says, thank you, thank you. You're so welcome. All right, it's been my honor and pleasure to be with you tonight. I look forward to seeing several of you on the Achievers Club open house tomorrow. And don't forget tomorrow's session, all about the money roadmap. I'm going to reveal the exact strategy that I share with my clients for how they can create their money roadmaps. Okay, so make sure you tune in for that. All right, have an awesome rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Daily success, daily success. Plan the week ahead, be excellent. Make money move, achieve your goals. Transform your life, one routine at a time. Daily success, daily success. Go and get yours. You better go get yours.